Hey guys, it's NOMZ here. Look, this isn't going to be your typical happy-go-lucky video with, music and memes and the intro and the raging rants and all that jazz. No, this isn't that. It's more of a notice than a video, but look, I just decided to make this video now because I think it's a good idea to do it now because my video on Spider-Man No Way Home has been restored, the one that was fraudulently flagged down, and I haven't really spoken about this in a manner that sort of clarifies everything. I've mentioned it on podcasts and stuff, but, um, this would be the best way to reach everyone and just sort of make sure everyone understands what's going on. So, I want to say mid-January, I released my Spider-Man No Way Home video. It wasn't the most flattering video, as many of you no doubt remember. I wasn't particularly a fan of the movie, and I let people know about it. And I think I did so with pretty concrete argumentation, and I used references, and I edited the shit out of the video, and it took me nearly a month to make. Granted, the holidays happened, so I was kind of slowed down. I was spending time with the family, doing stuff, relaxing, and I was doing this whilst working, a full-time job. So it was, there was a lot of 4 a.m. starts to the day to try and get some of it in before work, and, a lot of late nights and 5-hour sleeps, just trying to get it done in as timely a manner as I could. What took so long with the video was that, recently, I have OCD. And recently, my OCD has been kind of playing a factor with my editing, whereas, I probably shouldn't edit it as much as I do, but, I can't help it. Part of me just is like, no, that's not right. I got to do this. I got to make sure this isn't in the video. I got to insert this meme, etc., etc. It took a while, and it was a lot of hard work, and I finally got it done, and I released it. Now, what happened? So, before people start jumping to conclusions, people might say, oh, NOMZ, you should be more careful when you upload content because, it's your fault if the thing gets flagged down because you weren't careful enough or you didn't edit it enough. Okay, I'm going to debunk that right now. I'm actually going to destroy that if anyone says that. If you look at this screen cap here, now this is what I see on my end of the YouTube spectrum, right? Behind the scenes. Now, these are the drafts I uploaded whilst editing the video. And the reason I do it like this is to see if there's any copyright issues before I finish the video, so I can just upload it straight away. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, some of you may. When I released my Mulan, the animated movie video, back in 2020, I finished it, and then I had to edit it I had to re-edit it 25 times before YouTube's copyright bots would accept it, right? Now, when YouTube says its monetization is on, there's no copyright issues, all right? That's YouTube admitting by its own metric that this video is acceptable. There's nothing wrong with it. It's advertiser friendly. It doesn't violate copyright. It's fair use. You've altered it enough from its source material that it's able to be monetized and it's able to be seen by everyone. Now, what happens in some cases is that you'll get a dickhead from a corporation like, Universal or Warner Brothers for that matter, and what they'll do is they'll manually claim your video so they can take the copyright revenue from it. Even though that breaks the rules, that's what YouTube has in place. It's not fair. Nobody likes it. Every creator has this problem, all right? So I'm not saying, oh, woe with me. This only happens to me. This happens to everybody. So, okay, let me put it this way. So my Hobbs and Shaw video got, close to 300,000 views. It did very well. I'm pretty proud of it. There's a lot of people who agreed with me on that video, and I got a lot of my frustrations out. I made $0 from it. I think I made $2 because shortly after the video was published, it got claimed by Universal, and Universal took the revenue, right? But I was okay with it to an extent. I was still pissed, but it cost me a couple $1,000s. But I was still okay with it because you guys got to see it, and because it was claimed, that meant someone was still profiting, which means the algorithm still supported that video, right? Now, I've gone through this before, and when I've spoken about this, but how the YouTube's algorithm works and how monetization and demonetization works and copyright claims. A copyright claim isn't too bad. You can dispute it. Sometimes you can win. Sometimes you'll lose. The important thing is people get to see the video and the algorithm isn't damaged, right? Now, the other thing I thought might happen to my Spider-Man video was that YouTube might demonetize it, and demonetization is actually much worse because nobody wins. YouTube's saying that, no, we don't want this to be monetized. We don't want to make money off this, and thus, what happens to the video? What happens is the momentum almost completely stops, revenue completely stops, and the algorithm completely shits on that video, and it just gets buried, okay? So do your research. Demonetization is definitely worse than a copyright claim, all right? It is a colossal pain in the ass, and thankfully, to YouTube's credit, and I can't believe I'm saying this, they've sort of made the rules a bit more flexible. Like, you can curse more in videos now, you can swear and all that shit. It's a bit less common now to get demonetized, but it still happens. But like I said, this is why I do the drafts. As you can see, all of these videos, these drafts have been approved by YouTube's own metric. They've been approved. So they weren't demonetized, they weren't claimed. And as a matter of fact, the one at the top there, as you can see, thankfully, I uploaded my Spider-Man No Way Home video on my second channel preemptively because I thought this might happen. Admittedly, it was also just for shits and gigs, but I thought, hey, what could it hurt if one video goes down, at least another one's up and people can still see it, right? Because the one thing worse than demonetization is a copyright takedown. And this is when the corporate cunts manually file a legal statement, a legal document, whatever, and they say, by law, we want this taken down because this violates copyright. And immediately, without any due process, YouTube gives your channel what's called the strike. And much like baseball, it's 3 strikes and you're out. 3 of these fuckers and your channel gets deleted. Okay, that's what happened to the Spider-Man video. But here's the thing, and here is what I'm getting to. Spider-Man, as of right now anyway, is owned by Sony Pictures Entertainment. Sony Pictures Entertainment is not what flagged my video down. What flagged my video down was this other fraudulent third-party company working for Sony called Aiplex Software Private Limited. And if you do any digging into this company whatsoever, they are contracted by corporate entities to blatantly break copyright law, and you don't have to look far on YouTube to see this happening to other people. And most recently, they were contracted by Sony to censor everything that could damage the movie's reputation, whether it's leaks or criticism. My video falls into the latter category, but there are other videos out there that were flagged because of reactions to the cinema. Okay, now, people say, well, you can't prove it's Sony. That's fine. I can't prove outright that Sony hired these people, but only one company truly benefits from this, and that is Sony. And I know it was Sony because something very, very similar happened a couple years ago with a different company called Musso Entertainment Limited. There was a very controversial leak that happened with The Last of Us Part 2 a number of years ago, where a disgruntled employee leaked the entire plot of what would happen in that game. As we all know, after its release, not only were those leaks true, but the game, as we knew it would be, was a dumpster fire, and Sony started censoring everybody. Both leaks and criticism was censored, and they didn't do it themselves, mostly. They hired this other fucking company to strike channels. My gaming channel got 2 strikes. I believe Ryan Kinnell got a strike. Geeks and Gamers got a strike. It was fucking rampant. And again, you don't have to look very far to see what happened there. And now Sony are doing the same thing with this company here. So that's why my video was taken down. This was absolutely fraudulent. It was bullshit. It was a complete kick to the balls after all the work I put into it. And it was only after I submitted what's called a counter notification, which I was very hesitant to do, by the way, because you got to submit a proper legal counter to these fuckers, and you got to send your details and shit like that. When you're dealing with a fraudulent company, you're very skeptical about this whole process. So it took me a while to decide to send the counter notification, and I got some help, thankfully. Two YouTubers in particular, Ryan Kinnell, if you're watching this, and especially Robot Head. Thanks, boys. I appreciate your your help. They walked me through the process because it happened to them. They sent me some stuff that I could send through that would help my case against this fraudulent entity. Long story short, once I sent through my counter notification, as we knew, they wouldn't fucking double down on the legal trouble because they aren't the copyright owners, and because they just hired to, put a speed bump up. They're not hired to take people to court and make money off this, because it's not their property. They're frauds. They're hired out by Sony, so Sony doesn't get the bad press. And these fuckers do the dirty work, but these guys, they're all bark and no bite, but they're a fucking annoyance. And this is the story. My video was fraudulently taken down, and had to fight tooth and nail to get it back up, and it's finally back up, and that's why I'm making this video, to basically tell you what happened, and to clear anything up, and to raise awareness. Really, I just want this out there, and I want my video out there. And yeah, guys, so look, Spider-Man video is back up. Whether you love it or hate the movie, whether you love or hate my video, if you're a fan of the channel, please, by all means, share the video around. It would help me out a lot. The video, look, even though the video's back up, the the video's momentum is dead in the water. So, it's not really, doesn't really rectify much. At least people can see it now. But, I would appreciate it if you guys maybe help me out on this one and, help me put the video out there. I'd appreciate it very much. This goes against every fiber of my being, asking people to do this, but I've actually also reached out to a few YouTube friends of mine, made them aware of this, tried to, get them on board, help me jumpstart the video again. I never do this, but it's really just because, they broke the rules, so I figured maybe I should bend them as well. And, yeah, guys, look, that's pretty much the whole story. I'm sorry if I'm a bit rambling in this. There's no script. It's just really me just getting this out there, getting this off my chest. It's a wide, wide world, and there's a whole bunch of bad shit going on, and this is not the end of the world. There's plenty of worse things out there. This isn't, it's just a video. It's just an annoyance at the end of the day. Still got my health, still got my lovely viewers. I'm a happy man, but this was a real shame. And, hopefully, let's rectify this if we can, shall we? Anyway, thanks for your time, for listening to me prattle on. All the best out there, wherever you are. Thank you for listening to this. And, yeah, I got some videos coming out. I've got some plans, big plans. And, it was a pretty shitty start of the year for me, but I'm determined to turn it around. I guarantee that I will make each and every single one of your years better. Guaranteed. Whatever happens to me, you guys are going to have a great year, and I'm going to fucking make sure of it, alright? Anyway, thanks guys, take care, and bye for now.